How's it going, Epic Army, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be taking over Nova's role a little bit and going over some news in the MMO community. Today we're going to be going over the 8.1 patch for Battle for Azeroth. Before we get started, I do want to say that we will be getting back to our regular Classic WoW coverage next week. If you're dying for more content, head over to classicwow.live for some awesome stuff. Last week, Blizzard's WoW YouTube channel released the survival guide for 8.1 patch, Tides of Vengeance. The video itself was not met with a lot of love. At the time of this recording, the downvotes on the video were at 16,000 compared to just 5,100 upvotes. Now that the patch has gone live, there has been some mixed results as to how actually, if it could save Battle for Azeroth, or if it's going to be another total loss. Even the likes of Preach and Bellular have expressed their concerns and dislikes with some of the features and updates that 8.1 brought. Anyways, this was a rather large patch, so let's get into what they actually released in this patch. Updates to the War campaign. We have a continuation of the main story as well as new Warfront missions at your mission table. As a side note, there are also new equipment for your followers. We also have new faction assaults, which seem to be very similar to the invasions in Legion. Periodically, there will be assaults launched by the Horde and Alliance against the opposing faction in either Kul Tiras or Zuldazar. There is also a new Warfront in Darkshore. The contributions that are normally made for the Warfronts are still made in the same location. However, now when Darkshore Warfront is active, the quests will be available in their respective locations. Up next, Blood Elves and Dwarves both received quest chains for their heritage armor. Unlike the method of leveling your character from 20 to cap, you can now simply with a Blood Elf or a Dwarf go to your major city and pick up a quest to obtain your heritage armor. Island expeditions have been expanded to include 2 new islands. There were some other tweaks in rewards and requirements made for island expeditions in general as well. The best part of that being that now Seafarer doubloons can be exchanged for things like pets, mounts, toys, and even a couple cosmetic items. We got some new dungeons and a new raid. We now have access to 2 heroic dungeons, Siege of Borealis and King's Rest. There was also a bug fix, which now prevents players from being able to delete their mythic keystones. And lastly, Season 2 for PvP mythic dungeons and for the release date of the new raid, which is considered part of the 8.1 patch, will all be available January 22nd. Blizzard has also added a way to target Azerite traits. You can now obtain Titan Residuum from many different types of tasks throughout the world. You use those to be turned in for Azerite armor. We'll get to see if this actually fixes any of the issues with Azerite traits. As far as Azerite traits themselves, many of them have been reworked and renamed, as well as some of them have been completely replaced. For more information on all the different details on the Azerite traits, check out the link below. They've also added 5 new heirlooms. One day you're going to be leveling up and not have to change any gear because every single slot's going to be covered with heirloom gear. That being said, the new heirlooms are 4 new trinkets and 1 new cloak. Despite my complaining, it is nice to see some different trinkets that actually are used for all 3 different types of roles. Do you guys remember the Paragon reputation rewards in Legion? Well, guess what? We got them again. Seems like instead of finding good content for players at cap that's repeatable, Blizzard is content with just giving us the same RNG fest that we saw in Legion. Moving on, we have an all-new pet dungeon. There's a new pet dungeon experience that you can play through. The Blizzard staff, again, is drawing on Pokemon to make their pet collecting more interesting. It kind of seems like this is going to be just like going into a gym in Pokemon and having to defeat different Pokemon, but in this time it's going to be different pets to be able to get your reward. The interesting note here is that the reward is actually going to be 4 different pets that you can win from this dungeon experience. We've also had some profession updates. Many of the professions that were lacking recipes for Sanguicel from Old War have now had recipes added where they're actually able to use them. Next, Night Elves. Now, when you complete the Darkshore quest line, Night Elves will actually have some new customization features that you can actually use by going to the barbershop. The other item of note on appearance changes is that fist weapons can now be transmogged over with one-handed weapons and vice versa. As for one of the bigger changes, Blizzard actually reduced the time it takes to level from 1 to 110 by roughly 25%. This is interesting to see since Blizzard was previously taking the approach that it should take longer for players to level up, as when they nerfed all the heirloom gear. Now it seems like they're going back on that and trying to make it, again, easier for players to level. There were a lot of class changes that were brought with this patch. So many that I don't even want to attempt to go over everything here. Not only were base class things changed, but so were PvP talents. So if you want to learn about your class in particular, again, I'm going to reference you to the link below where you can go and read about your class. And lastly, one of the most important things to take away from this video, new multi-thread performance options using DirectX 12 have finally been added to the game. Players have been seeing huge FPS jumps and huge draw distance jumps because of this, and it's fantastic. Well anyways guys, that wraps up all the news I have that regards the 8.1 patch notes for Battle for Azeroth. There were, however, some reports of some undocumented changes that people are still finding, so make sure you check out the forums and the subreddits to get all the details you need from that as well. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, it's Radit here. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. We put out multiple new videos each week and we appreciate all of your support. Thanks for watching everyone, and cheers.